Greetings, MGMT 300 Principles of Management students. This is Dr. Jaros with the video introduction to Assignment 6, which covers Chapter 5. Chapter 5, the topic of interest to us is planning and organizational strategy. So in this chapter, what you're going to learn about is how managers plan, meaning how they map out their organizational activities. All managers engage in planning. It's one of the 5 key principles of management. Some managers plan in a very formal sense. Other managers plan in an informal sense. And so one of the things you will learn about in this chapter is the difference between formal planning and informal planning. So I ask you a number of questions to address the topic of planning and strategy development in organizations by managers. The first question has to do with some criticisms of formal planning. So you will learn about you need to keep your eye open for what the advantages and disadvantages of formally writing down a plan of action are. There are advantages to formally planning, and there are disadvantages to formally planning, and so you want to be aware of what those are after reading the chapter. Also, the chapter addresses the topic of strategic management. Strategic management means developing plans to govern the organization as a whole. Strategic management involves developing a strategic plan, meaning developing a plan that describes the strategy that the organization is going to use in order to compete in the marketplace. And as part of that process, the firm has to be able to identify what are called strategic weapons, meaning tactics and strategies and assets that the firm can rely on to try to defeat the competition in the marketplace. There's also a discussion of some basic managerial strategies that all managers can use regardless of what level they are operating at, because it's not just the top level managers, the ones who develop strategic plans, that engage in planning. Middle level managers and lower level managers and frontline supervisors develop plans as well. And also we'll learn something in this chapter about dynamic challenges that managers face when they attempt to plan. These days, business environments are dynamic. They're rapidly changing, and we're seeing that right now, right? 6 months ago, who knew anything about the coronavirus? Now the coronavirus has wreaked a lot of havoc in terms of business plans. So unforeseen events and circumstances can arise, and so managers have to develop plans that are flexible enough to accommodate those kinds of changes. So these are some of the topics to keep on the lookout for when you're reading Chapter 5.